Welcome back. One of the last surviving members of Lesotho's prominent band Sankomota has died. Sankomota has kept a long musical heritage depicting the times and lives of Basotho. From its roots as Uhuru, singing freedom and struggle songs like Stop the War, Confusion and Pain, the group then changed its name to Sankomota after being banned by the South African apartheid regime.
The young and old have gathered in song to remember one of the finest of the few living members of Sankomota.
I just thought I should take this opportunity and use this memorial service of Ndate Pitso as an opportunity for Basotho to do things differently. By honoring people while they are alive, on how they contribute by entertaining us and making life easier for us.
May his soul rest in peace and rise in glory.
A prolific bassist, Pitso Sera has been remembered as a rare talent Lesotho has ever produced. A man who thrived in passing the musical heritage by teaching the younger generation how to play music instruments.
I first got to know this man, Pitso Sera, in the early 60s. Those were the times, the seasons when the Africans were striving and struggling to really find themselves against all odds during the times of oppression, when nobody really wanted to identify with a black person. But Pitso Sera was indeed a man who really had a love for this country.
Sankomota's music has resonated well in the sub-Saharan African region and beyond. Being the first Lesotho musical group to record an album, Tsapotsola, Frank Leapa and Budaza Mapefane are some of the prominent founding members that gave the group Sankomota its identity. Rapelang Khatebe, SABC News, Masego, Lesotho.
So art is not only for entertainment, but it's also cultural currency. It's also a way of preserving and sharing cultural diversity. The fourth industrial revolution is presenting new ways of experiencing artistic expression, and we're joined now by Showbiz Entertainment Africa's founder Peter Sibeko, who joins us to the left, along with Professor Pitika Ntuli, who's a cultural analyst, to talk about this. So we'll talk about the conference in just a moment, but Professor Ntuli and I were speaking just earlier on about preserving our African heritage and culture. And I just wanted to start with you, Professor Ntuli, on what is the role of the arts, the creative industry, in reminding us of our heritage and culture? And is it doing enough to preserve it?
I think it is doing enough. The way art is so powerful, even bad art, does preserve some things from our songs, from our poetry, from the houses that we design and we paint, for everything. All of those kind of artistic things are the things that the 350 years could not actually wiped out, because art is something that is ingrained in us. And actually, art lives in us, and it's the one that orders us to present it out to the people, because it's so essential.
I keep wondering, when people like Dr. Esther Mahlangu pass on, she always says she's happy to pass on her gifts, her knowledge to younger people, but one finds themselves wondering, will there ever be another Dr. Esther Mahlangu?
I think she's doing quite a very good work. She has started her schools. And that she is doing. But what happens that South Africa has no appreciation or even understanding of the arts. If you look at the arts, for instance, one, the place I knew even when I was in exile that was supplying the arts was Funda Center in Soweto.
Yes.
What did they do? Funda Center, 2/3 of Funda Center was given to MK veterans to get the artists out. The latest thing right now from an insider is that they're going to have to auction that place. You've got powerful places like Pansy Museum in Durban, which has got the best beadwork of Zulu culture. It is also going, definitely under. I don't want to talk about our own art studios that carries 70 people in 2 weeks' time on average, teaching ordinary people from government schools to do not know schools. Again, we tell no, the funding is actually over. You can go on. So many art institutions are actually, closing, down. But listening to the president, yesterday, and its grasp and its understanding and the suggestions that is actually made, I'm absolutely hopeful. Day before yesterday, I was not.
You weren't so much. So, Mr. Sibeko, what about you? So, how are you then translating this into preserving, promoting our culture within that context of the Fourth Industrial Revolution?
Well, from a point of view of what we do annually, which is the conference Showbiz Entertainment Africa, which is being held at Soweto Theatre tomorrow and Friday. So what we do is we put under one roof the different stakeholders from the different industries, just broadly from a creative point of view. And what we're encouraging is collaboration and bringing awareness of such issues as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, so that the arts and largely the creative industries play a pivotal role in what is amongst us at this point in time. What we focus on and what we advocate for is the business of the entertainment industries or the arts or the
So what would
creative
that
side.
be, in your point of view? What would be the business of the entertainment industry at this point?
Oh, well, it's largely being aware of your environment, just in its totality. So being aware of all the different aspects, and as far as business is concerned, from a management point of view, from a marketing point of view, from a financial point of view, and including technology. And that's where this Fourth Industrial Revolution comes in. If you're not aware of what is happening as far as technology is concerned, obviously, you'll be left behind. And I think the arts should not lag behind. It is at this point where there is so much talk about 4IR from other mainstream industries that the arts should also take its place in
I'm just thinking from the perspective of somebody of musical appreciation. I mean, purists often say, and I must say I'm also one of those who says everything's so digitized, they don't make real music anymore. Yes. How do you ensure that you keep the essence of what we're looking for? If we're talking about African instruments, for instance, I mean, we know about the kora and the mbiras and all of those instruments. How do we preserve that kind of thing without messing with the real essence?
I think it's just really about collaboration. It's all the different facets of the arts coming under one roof and being able to influence each other in a positive way, so that there is just working hand in hand in terms of preserving what is us, which is, as my learned friend here has pointed out, is what we are. It's really about preserving what we do and collaborating as the different art forms.
Professor Ntuli, you said earlier on that we've become a corruption of our colonizers or Western influences, just in terms of being African. So who would we say we are? And I'm just thinking, if our tastes, our modern tastes, are messing with us appreciating our identity, our original identity.
Yeah, I mean, our education systems do not speak to they do not speak to us. Everything that we do doesn't speak to us. The way we rule, the way we govern, doesn't actually even pretend. What is happening is that the new leaders of Africa under the African Union have led down Africa. That was started by the Organization of African Unity, where the Kwame Nkrumahs and the Sekou Toures, who wanted one currency for Africa, one language for Africa, one government for Africa, One Africa's high command of the soldiers from Africa to protect Africa, free borders, take 50 students from here, send them to be educated in Zambia for free. Zambia sends their people in here. We build this. If at all that was actually done, we would not actually even be dealing with obnoxious things like the Afrophobia that is attacking us at this particular moment.
So, Mr. Sibeko, how do you achieve that, a unified approach? I mean, you call it, as in the word Africa appears in your exhibition or your festival. So how do you achieve that? Who are the people that you invite to be able to bring that about?
Well, we invite people from the different sectors, as well as people from other industries outside of the arts, because, as I say, there's got to be collaboration, but not only collaboration within the different creative industries, but also other industries. Right, so we bring in people that deal with IT, that can come and speak to creatives, to artists about what 4IR is, and people from academia. So we've got a professor that's coming to speak to within a panel, a professor from an academic institution. We've got somebody from the music industry, and somebody that deals with ITC from a company called Connector. So, as you would know, technology, the disruption that it has caused, not only within the industries, but just from other different industries, it cuts between the different industries, so to say. So we shouldn't have just the arts living on its own, because I think if we do that, it's to the detriment of the creative industries.
All right, so well, perhaps just to wrap up then, Professor Ntuli, just now taking a step forward, how do we then bring back Africa, bring back Africans to one place of departure, and that is of a heritage of greatness and not of the dark continent that's always been enforced on us?
I think if we are to rely actually maybe on government or anything, we may not actually get to where we are really get to. It behoves us and communities to tax our own communities to get these things actually are doing. But I would very much like that the speech that the president made yesterday in addressing these issues it really touched me. It's something that is going to be widely circulated, because he was not just only talking about what has to be done, but also suggesting the issues that need to be done and followed. Now, to set up an example, for instance, when our funding was cut, we decided that we are selling our house in Durban, just to keep the young people who come to us, going as much as we are actually going to do, because that's an article of faith. I spent 33 years of my life, sacrificed it charged with treason, kept in death cells, tagged in anything, to prepare a way so that I can come to my country and be a good artist, and that I want to do, and I'm not going to allow anybody without imagination to stop me from doing it. So we need to be on our own, as Steve Biko had said. Black man, black woman, you are on your own.
We all know that sad one. Thank you very much. Professor Pitika. Ntuli is a cultural analyst, and Peter Sibeko is the founder of the 5th Showbiz Entertainment Africa conference, which was taking place this weekend. Don't go away. We'll be back shortly.